What is going on, you guys? So I did get a couple things in today. Didn't do an unboxing, but I got some stuff in from Vibrant. Was it all the stuff that was on back order? No. I got a section of 10-foot hose. That's it. Been waiting over a month, probably close to a month and a half, for 3 fittings and hose, and I just got the hose. But I did get something else, and that's what this video is about. Holley EFI fuel rails for the stock LS manifold. So I'm gonna take a look at them, break it down, see what comes with the kit, throw it on there and see how the install goes. So, bag of hardware with the fittings that are for it, and then the mount brackets and all that stuff in there. 8AN crossover line, which I think I'm going to change this out to the black Vibrant stuff, just because I'm not really a fan of steel braided. And then the rails themselves. You can see they have like a kind of like a matte powder coat finish on them. You know, nothing too flashy, so I kind of like the look of that. That nice Sniper EFI logo right on the side is a pretty nice touch. The machining on them and everything looks pretty good. It does look like they were powder coated in the holes and all that. I don't know if this is powder coating or anodizing. It looks like powder coating, but you know, it might be an anodizing. I'm not too sure, but we'll see how that affects the threading and the injector fitment for sure. So I got the fittings. We'll just toss these all on here. And it did come with a plug too, which is nice. I'm not going to need it, but you know, if you're not running a return off these rails or you need to cap it off on one end, it's nice that they include that for you. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this fuel rail off of here. Just took the entire manifold off the car. It's not necessary to do the install. I just wanted to make life easier for myself, and since you know it's so easy to pull it off of this car, I figured why not? It's not worth the trouble, you know. So now that this is off, now that that's off, I'll lose all my hardware. Pick all this back up. Pop the injectors off of here. Take all the little clips out. And these are not the injectors that are going to be going in the car. These are stock LS2 injectors. So, you know, 5.7 liter, 25 pounds boost. Stock injectors really ain't gonna cut it. Okay, so I got all the injectors off the old rail. And to give you an idea, you know, you can see how small the opening is in that rail right there. So it's pretty restrictive, you know, especially when you're getting into high fuel demands. And the Holley rails, way bigger opening. The actual diameter inside is way bigger too, so you know, definitely a must-do upgrade in the fuel system for pushing big power. So on the LS2 manifold, it looks like the further forward hole, so you see the way that it's sloped there. So let me show you. So we have that slope, and that's for the angle of the injector right there. So our brackets are going to go in this first hole here. Now the other side is reversed, so even though, where's it going to be? Right there. So it's going to sit right there. So it's still going to be in the first hole right there on the bracket for both sides. So what I did now, I went ahead and put all the injectors in, kind of set the rail in place, like you can see right there. And now these brackets kind of just go on like that, and then bolt into the manifold. Okay, so trying to get these brackets together. I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't having any issues. First issue is the powder coating that they put on these brackets. Like I was talking about in the beginning of the video, it's a thick powder coat, so the fitment on these is super tight, and I think I'm gonna need to go through and drill the powder coat off of these holes so I can get the hardware through it. And you know, it's the same story on the lower bolts that actually bolt to the manifold. That one I got to go through. So I can't get these things to go together for the life of me, so I'm gonna have to drill the holes out. This is not safe. Don't do this. And even with that, it's still pretty tight. I think I'm gonna have to get a bigger drill bit. Okay. I'm at the point where I've been fucking with these brackets long enough that it's really, really irritating me. And, yeah, these things kind of suck. Like, straight up. Like, the actual rail quality is really nice, but these brackets that they include with it are fucking garbage. They're pretty terrible. I'm honestly to the point where I'm about to make my own fucking brackets for these rails, because these things... not only are all clogged to shit from their powder coating job, but they don't really line up too well either. Well, I drilled the holes out so that they would go in here a little bit easier, and they still don't really seem to line up, like, at all. So I don't know if they sent me the wrong bracket kit or what. But that shit is off by... Well, first of all, if I hold it flush with that, you can see the angle's off a little. Where's the fucking lens at? There it is. You can see how far off that is. But on top of that, look how far off that hole is. Here, see if I can move that, just to give you an idea how far away that is. It's pretty far away. Now, to get that to line up, I would really have to torque this rail back. And at that point, look how much I'm bending the injectors out, where you want them to be about there. I'd have to pull it way the fuck out there. Oh, but look at what he's doing. He clearly just has the bracket on the wrong way. The bracket's on upside down. That has to be what it is. Well, I wish that were the case, but if you flip the bracket the other way, it pulls the injectors completely out of the manifold, being way too tall, and it doesn't fit either way at all. Yeah, I haven't dealt with something that fit this poorly since anything ProCharger made. So, yeah, I don't know if there's some type of... Is ProCharger outsourcing these? Because they fit like ProCharger made it. Which is they don't fucking fit at all. So, yeah, I'm a little bit irritated right now. A little irritated because I really wanted to get this shit on here. So, I'm just going to go ahead and make my own fucking brackets or modify these ones because they're not going to work. So, yeah, I'll pick this video up when I'm done doing that because I don't feel like recording the whole process of that. So... wasn't just scratching my balls. So I was finally able to get the rail bolted on, but I did have to modify those brackets. I was considering making my own brackets, which in all honesty I still might end up doing just because of how janky these ones are now, but I'll pull one of these off real quick and I'll show you the difference between the two and show you how I had to bend it to be at the correct angle. You see how it's actually lining up halfway decent with the injectors now, pretty straight. Before, this was tilted way in, and the injectors were like this in the fuel rail. Like, fuel rail runs flat here. It was tweaking the injectors and putting them on a weird angle. So I had to rebend the bracket and re-drill a hole. So I'll pop one out and show you what I had to do. The original one, and then there's the one I had to modify. So straight away, you can see how far I had to move that hole in. So it was off by like a 1/4 inch of where it actually needed to be. And then second, you can see how far in this one's bent. That was actually forcing the rail way over like that, but not moving it physically over, but actually twisting the rail on an angle, which didn't allow the injectors to be straight up and down like they should be. So I bent this one back a little and drilled that hole right there, and now everything actually lines up. Definitely not a bolt-in kit. You know, I'm honestly thinking they may have packaged the brackets for one of their high-rise intakes, one of their Sniper EFI manifolds on accident, because they do sell this kit for OEM LS intake manifolds, which is what I bought, and it says on my packing order that's what I received. I'm just wondering if maybe I got the wrong brackets and this is just a big misunderstanding. I hope that's the case, because if it's not, you know, this is definitely not a direct bolt-on kit. If anybody else is out there and has used this in the past, please let me know if yours was different, and maybe I just got something else, or if you encountered the same issue. So I'm gonna go ahead, modify those other brackets, and get everything fitted up. Well, a couple of hours and a couple of beers of distraction later, I got it bolted on. I definitely had to modify the other brackets also. So I mean, I showed you what I needed to do with the other one, the first set. So there was that, and then I did that on the other side. And before I did that, I had a couple beers, and now I'm done with it. Finally. And it is on the car. Bolted on. So, had to move that hole, had to bend that bracket. Had to move that hole and bend that bracket. Same. Now, out of all the frustration I've had installing this, do I wish I would have just spent a little bit more money and got like a radium kit or something like that? Honestly, no. As much of a frustration as it was to get that bolted together, I don't know if they were the right brackets to begin with. I think I might have just got shipped the wrong ones. And even if that's not the case, I still would have rather got this. Because, for starters, those rails, the actual rails are really nice. So, this fucking glare. God, these lights are so bright. Yeah, the actual rails are pretty nice, and I like the quality of the rails. And the brackets that come with it to mount it, they fucking suck. And I had to modify them. I had to drill some holes. I had to bend some shit. But for $120, it's really not that bad. It's a good quality kit. Now, there was one other thing that I looked at and went, that's kind of not very good, and I'm going to change that out. And I'm definitely going to change that out. You can sometimes just look at something and go, that's a cheap part, and it doesn't look right, and it doesn't look safe. That fuel line looks like some eBay shit that I would never run on my car. Like, that is a Dash 8 line that looks like it's the size of a Dash 6 line. It looks cheap. It feels cheap. I'm going to swap it out. I'm not using that crossover hose. You know, if you've seen any of my other videos, you know everything I run hose and fitting wise, always Vibrant, and I came prepared. Yep, got some Vibrant Dash 8 line. I mean, just looking at these side by side, you can tell the difference of the thickness of the line, and this Vibrant line is definitely a better quality. So I'm going to be swapping that out ASAP, and I'm probably not even going to use those fittings because the original rails I was going to buy didn't have Dash 8 lines and crossover, so I bought some extra 90 fittings for that and some rail adapters. So I already have everything to do a good crossover for that line, and that's what I'm going to do. Not right now, because I am done with this video. I'm done with that. The rails are super nice. Putting them on the car fucking sucks. So if I had to give it a rating of the quality of the Holley EFI kit, I'm going to have to say it's a 5 out of 7. Dark Knight was better. If you get that joke, yes. Anyways, that's it for this one. I got other shit to do. This is taking up way too much of my time. I have more beers to drink, Coronas, you know how it goes. Anyways, like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Follow my struggles. And I will catch you guys later.